who loves metal detecting so much, he sat in an airport for 3 days trying to get home to his family. That's the story I'd like to start with. I don't know who that could be, but I have a feeling you might know this guy.
It's worse than you think.
Let's try volume.
That was actually Tim and me.
That was both of you guys. Oh my goodness, tell us the story.
And they had COVID.
Yeah, and we had COVID.
Tell us the story. We can hear you.
Go ahead, Tim.
Oh, you want me to tell the story? Okay. All right. So anyway, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So KG and I, along with a bunch of other guys from Team Garrett, the director of marketing, I think, and Gypsy was over there, and some people from England like Dawn and Chris, and then the whole Holland Belgian team. We were all at an event in north of Amsterdam, somewhere way up near the border of Germany. So anyway, from the time we left, we never saw the sun again. It rained. We flew through Dublin. Yeah, we flew through Dublin, Ireland. It was raining and dark there. We flew to Amsterdam. It's raining, and we walked through mud and, I mean, just literally standing water we were detecting out in fields in the Netherlands. And we did the whole event. Everything was great. We had a blast. And then, I mean, the whole time, well, I think Steve was coughing before any of us, you know. He was coughing and Dawn was coughing, and we didn't think anything of it. And finally, the whole thing's over, and we jump on a plane Monday. And, of course, immediately we are delayed. We're sitting on the tarmac for, I don't know, an hour. And then we get to London, and we totally missed our next flight. So we're kind of stranded, and we had a choice of staying in London or trying to get another flight. And they booked us and gave us tickets to go to Houston and then to Dallas. And by the time we got it all taken care of, we missed that flight too. So we didn't want to stay overnight. We just thought, you know what, put us on any plane going to the United States. So we ended up, like, I don't know how many hours later, but we landed in LAX. And so we're in LAX, and by then both of us are kind of like, oh, you know, my throat kind of hurts a little bit. I don't know what's going on, you know. And I just thought I had a little cold because it wasn't any big deal. But by the time I finally rebooked my flight, because I was all the way across the United States, and since I live in Arizona now, I didn't want to fly to Dallas and then all the way back again. So I just flew directly from LA to home. And it must have taken 40 hours. And we had no sleep or anything. And of course, then I was sick as a dog for a while. And but it wasn't that bad. I had, you know, it was like a cold. And I wouldn't even have thought anything of it until I got a phone call. It said, everybody in the world has COVID that we ever talked to and stuff in the Netherlands. So it's like, you better test yourself. And sure enough, I still have a little stack of those old COVID tests. And I thought, all right, what the heck? I'll just try it. And I mean, by the time I put the drops on the little tester, it was like, bam, you got COVID, you know, so.
Oh, man.
Oh, wimp.
Yeah, you got it too, though. And then KG, he gives me a call and says, "Oh, I don't have COVID. There's no way. I just took a test." And then he looks at the test, and it's like expired for 3 years. And I'm like, you know, you might want to try that again. And go about a few hours later, he gets another one, and he texts us back, "I hope you so-and-sos are happy. I've got COVID too." So.
So the gist.
Yeah, it was I was going to say, yeah, it was a rough one. It took us, like I say, 2.5 days to get home, and it was only supposed to take us about 16 hours. So that was a rough trip.
So the gist of the story I got is your metal detectors are waterproof. Did I miss that?
Now they're waterproof, all right.
It didn't take me that long to get home.
So, what do you guys want to talk about? You guys can ask us whatever you want to ask us, and we'll try to give you an answer.
Well, does anybody have questions for these guys? What's your head, little man? Come on up. Come on. Come on. Up top, hurry up. Come up here, look at the camera. Smile nice. Are you missing any teeth yet? You want to lose some? Get up there. Smile at the camera. There you go. Ask him your question.
What did you find there?
The Netherlands.
I think you said, what did you find?
Yes, find in the Netherlands.
Oh, what did we find in the Netherlands? You know, the Netherlands is always a really good place to search because a lot of the dirt in the Netherlands was hauled from all over Europe to build up the land, because a lot of the Netherlands actually sits right at sea level or a little bit below. So they haul in stuff. So we can always find a lot of really old coins, like 1500s. Every once in a while, you might find like a coin from the 1200s. We mostly found coins from around the 1600s to the 1800s, but we did go to this big event and they had a seated hunt out there, and one guy found a cache of, I think he had 24 giant silver coins, and another guy found an old 1800s gold coin out there. So there's always good stuff to find out there, buddy.
What's his name?
That's more. Yeah.
Where's no silver?
Oh, and up to boy. Yeah. Have a seat,
Where's my buddy James Opar in there? Raise your hand, James.
James, raise your hand. That was his son.
Yeah, I want to show y'all something. See this book?
Yes.
This is called Beneath Our Feet, and it's going to be on Amazon in about a week. And on page 120 and 121, our buddy James Opar is featured in the book. Just wanted y'all to see that. So if you're looking for a good Christmas present, go on Amazon and look for Beneath Our Feet, Volume 2. James is in there.
Now, is that the copy we have to give away tonight? Yeah.
That's Volume 1 that we're giving away tonight. That's got KG RINGY and me in it.
Right on.
And we're giving that one away, but Volume 2 will be available in about a week, and this one will have James in it.
Are you guys going to do another show where you guys are going head to head with other detectorists like you did with the Chicago Ron?
Yeah, that would be fun. We'd love to do that. We got some other stuff cooking. We did while we were in the Netherlands. We haven't put this video out yet because we've had COVID, and that's my excuse for everything now. And but when it comes out, you'll see that we went over there and we divided up into like five different teams, I think it was, and they were all composed of like me, KG, and a bunch of the Belgians and Englanders, and we had a blast competing for the day. So we're gonna try to do some more of that kind of stuff for sure.
Well, y'all are going to lose.
Yeah, we might.
I don't think there's any comments from users, is there?
You have a question? All right, come on up. Hang on, guys. We got another question coming. Your sister cuts. Still cuts. That's all right. Ladies first. We let it go.
The answer is 32.
32. Is that the right answer? Not today, friends. Go ahead,
All
what's
right.
your, tell me-
What's your
question?
name first? What's your name?
What's your name? Allie.
Allie?
Allie.
Allie.
What's your
Okay, Allie,
question,
what's your
Allie?
question?
Allie.
Coins did you guys find?
How many coins did you guys find?
In the Netherlands, right? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, in the Netherlands.
Whew. I'm thinking maybe I found about 20. Does that sound about right, KG?
Yeah, I think you found 20 and I found 21.
I will say that we probably found about 30 or 40 coins between the two of us, and most of them over there because of we're detecting in farm fields with and there's chemicals, and over the years most of them get deteriorated to the point where you can't even read them, and they're just kind of little green disc, we call them. And there were about 4 or 5 where they were still in fairly decent condition that I could read. And the oldest one I think I found this trip was 1714. It was a Netherlands Duet from Zeelandia, Zee Land IA.
Zoolander.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really funny that they had a big rally in the Netherlands. That's why we went over there. This Koostra, they had these big rallies, so they planted the field, and like Noctra was there, Garrett was there. There was a whole bunch of manufacturers there. Well, they put a bunch of money tokens out in the field, and after the event was over, Tim and I and a whole bunch of people from over there, we went back out in the fields and hunted. And I think we ended up finding about $80 or $90 worth of tokens, but we couldn't turn them in because the thing was already over. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the funny thing was KG, we're standing in the middle of this muddy field, and he shows me this token for $20. He goes, "Oh, it's too bad I couldn't turn this in." And I was like, "Oh, that's weird. I found a couple of the Garrett ones with numbers, but I didn't find any money tokens." And I was standing right on top of the signal as he tells me this story and shows me the coin. I go like this, and I go, "Boy, that sounds good." And I dig up a token, and it was worth $10. It was right under my feet. So, yeah, people missed a bunch of stuff out there. They had how many people? 1,000 out there looking for stuff.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously they missed a silver cache, a gold coin, and all that stuff that we found on the next day. An organizer had planned for us to hunt that field anyway, but knowing that there was gold and silver still out there, we were pretty excited to get out there. But unfortunately, KG and I didn't get them, but my teammate found the gold coin, and so he helped carry us to the championship that day.
Yes.
I didn't really find.
All right,
I
buddy.
didn't find anything except what did I find? A little pig. I found a pendant that was like a pig in a suit. That was my best find of the day.
Hey, buddy, what's your name?
My name is Lex.
What's your name? Did you forget? What is it? His name is Lex, like Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor.
Lex.
Awesome. He's an evil genius. You need to shave your head, though.
How many years have you been doing metal detection?
They've been detecting about 1 year.
About 100.
500. Do you believe him? Let's tell him. He don't believe you none. He just don't believe you.
I think I've
KG,
been metal detecting probably about 12 years, Ringy? 12 years, 13
12.
years?
Well, on TV, but we were detecting together back in like 2003. So what, 20 years? And then I was going 10 or so years before that. So maybe 20, 30 years. That's a long
Mark
time.
was detecting in the 1700s.
Yeah. I was detecting with Abraham Lincoln one time.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln told me one time Don't believe everything you read on the internet.
So
What?
tell me about this shovel that you guys have. What's so special about your shovel?
KG, you take this one.
Come on, shovel.
All right. Well, we've used about every kind of shovel known to man out there. And then, so I actually live here in Southeast Kansas right now. And right down the road from me is B&W Trailer Hitches. They're like the world's biggest trailer hitch manufacturer. They make cattle guards. They make stuff for farmers and whatnot. Well, I worked with one of their engineers and we designed our own digging shovel. And I used to race motocross and all that. So we put like motocross pegs on it, like the non-slip pegs. So if your feet are wet and stuff, your feet don't slip off. They're heat treated, they're powder coated, and they have like root cutting teeth on there, and they're a little bit wider in the back than the front, so they're kind of self cleaning. But yeah, they've sold quite well, and we're pretty proud of them. We might be working on a new design yet, but we're not really we haven't got that in the making yet.
Okay, and where can I buy it from?
All you have to do is go to diggintv.com and you can find all of our old shows and everything and links to the shovel to buy it. It'll eventually take you to anacondatreasure.com, but that's kind of a mouthful. If you just go to diggintv.com, it'll be easy. You'll find your way to it.
Yeah, and I don't know if a lot of you guys have seen our new shows, but if you go to diggintv.com, it's on the internet. And you can stream everything for free. You don't have to have National Geographic. You don't have to have some special channel, but you can watch our shows from all over the world, like Germany. We were in Russia a few times, obviously, before the chaos started. All over Europe, Australia, Canada. We filmed an underwater show in the Great Lakes, so we dug up there. But yeah, diggintv.com. That'll take you to the main page, and then there's links to the shovel, our TV shows, and all kinds of goodies on there. So if you can remember that, that'll get you everywhere.
Well,
I
it's
put it-
on the coin. It's on the coin, and
I
I
put
think
it
they
in the
have
chat, too.
coins. Yeah,
It's in the
okay.
chat. Okay.
And you guys are from Anaconda, Montana, is that correct? And that's where the name Anaconda comes from? Tell us
Correct.
that story
Yeah.
for those who weren't here last year.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in Anaconda, Montana. Lived there my whole life. My family is all there and everything. And I just recently moved to Southeast Kansas a few years ago. But Anaconda, it sounds like, why would there be a giant snake in the middle of Montana? Well, that's not the reason it's called Anaconda. Anaconda is the mining company that founded the town back in the 1800s. They were a copper company. And around Anaconda, you have Butte, Montana, which is like one of the world's biggest strip mines, and they mined copper. So the Anaconda company founded the mines, which named the town after that. So Anaconda is the town. So when Tim moved from Iowa to Anaconda, we met up, and then we just formed our company, and that's why we called it Anaconda Treasure Company. Neither one of us thought we were ever going to leave Montana, but here we both are sitting on other sides of the United States.
Didn't you wreck a mining truck one time?
No, I used to drive 220-ton haul trucks in the mines in Butte, Montana, and I drove heavy equipment. I drove bulldozers and track hoes and all that. But one time I was in a 120-ton haul truck, 220. I can't remember. Big. You can put a house in the back of these things, and it just rained. And I remember coming down off of this bench down to the bottom where the shovels were right after a rain, and I remember just fishtailing all the way to the very bottom. My butt was holding on to the seat so tight. And then when I hit the bottom, I did like a 360, and then I stopped and I just backed up under the shovel. And the guys on the shovel were clapping for me. They thought I was a goner.
Ringy, say something, see if we can hear you.
My question, I'm standing in front of the camera. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, there I am. Here I am. My name is Sue, and I've been watching your videos for a long time. They are so dang funny, and very, very educational too. So I was watching the one when you were in England and looking for that nectar, you know? And
Yeah.
so when you guys, you go back and forth and you go and you start these little stories about, I think this was found from the boy that married the girl that went on the, you know, you go into those crazy stories. Do you just ad lib them? Or are they planned?
You know,
I mean,
a lot of them are so stupid. We couldn't write it and say it. So we usually just go off on. We always just go off on a tangent, and we always trying to outdo each other. So like a lot of times we'll just come up with the dumbest story we can possibly think of, you know, just to try to outdo the other one, you know. But we usually just wing it. When we were filming for National Geographic, the camera guys and the producer, they always said, you know, just go with it. Just say whatever you want. We'll edit it in the editing room. But ever since I've known Tim, like 18 years or whatever, we're always just doing stupid stuff like that. So we're kind of that way, but it's actually funny. Otherwise, the show would be a lot boringer. So we're always trying to put a spin on everything.
it's very funny and it really works. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
Tim, can you hear us?
Tim cannot hear us right now. I don't know if there's a volume control on that side over there, but he can't hear us.
IT's
No,
on it, Mark.
the funny thing is Tim's the computer programmer and he can't figure it out.
And you can say
I'm
anything you
just a
want
dumb
to him.
miner.
You can say anything you want about him now because he can't hear you.
Good. That's even better. Now he's gone. That's even better. Now it's a party.
Hey, I'm going to take over his place.
Go ahead, Mark.
So I want to give a little shout out to Mark. Mark is amazing. I had the pleasure of meeting Mark up here in Idaho. Came to a seated hut that Spud Digger put on. If anybody got any of these adventures in history, that's Mark. But in addition to that, Mark gave us a copy of his book to give away tonight. And not only that, he gave us a 2023 Peace Dollar to give away tonight to all the club members for being metal detectorists. Show them a little love, please.
Yeah, thank you for that shout out. If you go to Adventures in History on Facebook, that's my group. We have about 2,000 members, and people post stories of history, metal detecting finds, historical stories. It's a lot of fun. And, you know, James frequently posts things on my site as well, and other people do. So anybody who's not on Adventures in History, it's a Facebook group. Go look for it, and we'd love to have you as a member there.
Great stuff on his channel. Great stuff. Thank you so much for putting these things together.
Yeah,
What do you guys want to tell us? I can tell a story. You want to hear a story? It's about the guy who bought a motorhome. Never mind. Anyway, tell us the story, guys. Or not. You got a question, Todd? We're still muting. Hang on. Go ahead, Todd.
Can you hear Tim? Give me a thumbs
Yes.
up if you can you hear?
Give him a
Okay,
thumbs
Tim,
up.
you can hear, but we can't hear you. You're muted right now.
Yeah, we can't.
Turn your volume up.
Computer programmer, my
Unmute your
butt.
computer.
We can't hear you, Tim.
Well, I guess we won't get an answer from him. We need a text.
All right.
We see you guys on social media and a few of our meetings. When are we going to see you physically in Idaho?
Yes.
In Idaho, I would love to come to Idaho. They seem like they keep us on the eastern half of the United States. I don't know why, but if we can get a cool event together with enough people in Idaho, if we pressure Garrett, a lot of times they'll send us out to the events or whatever. So if we can put something together and bug Steve Moore and all them, then they can get us out there. That'd be awesome. We'd like to get up there.
Do you have his private email?
Yeah, usually it's that Anaconda Treasure one. You could do that, or Mark can give you my personal one.
No, we want his
Check.
private email so we can bombard him with requests to come to Idaho.
Oh yeah. I got Steve's. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I got a cell phone. I'll give you a cell phone number.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know what happened earlier. KG went off on this story. He was just talking, and all of a sudden it just went completely dead for me. I have no idea. I wasn't touching the keyboard or anything. I was just sitting here, and then I don't know. So anyway, I missed all the rest of what happened, but it's okay. I've probably heard it all before.
I'm going to be right back. I'm going to show you something that I found in Idaho at an old gold mining ghost town. I'll be there. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, Ringy, I was telling them about how you're a computer programmer and you're the one that lost volume.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I didn't just lose volume. Like you were talking and it just like everything just went dead silent. And I could still see everything, but I couldn't talk or hear. So, kind of like my daily life.
Tell them a good story, Ringy. You got a lot.
Oh, I don't have any stories. What happened?
Tell them the bear story in Montana where you almost got eaten by a bear. We got about 5 different bear attack stories, but I'm not going to tell the super long one where you almost got eaten alive. I'll tell. Here's a short one. This one we're not even sure. I don't think this was a bear story. I think it's a different story. But anyway, KG and I were out hunting one day, and he had you had a bow, didn't you? Right.
You were calling back with the bow, and I was up in the front, and I just had a pistol of KG's just for safety on my hip, and that was it. That's all I had with me.
I didn't put any bullets in it.
Yeah, it was empty. It was actually just plastic. It was a plastic gun. And so I'm up by this bush, and we're calling, and we hear all this crashing through the trees coming down the hill toward us, and then all of a sudden, it came right up behind this big bush that I was sitting behind, and KG's a few yards behind me, and I'm just sitting there, and I just figured there's an elk on the other side of this bush, but I couldn't look up over it, because I'm hunched down. And we just waited and waited and waited. And I kind of looked back at him, tried to make eye contact, but nothing happened and nothing happened. And I had my hand on the sidearm just in case. And I thought, what in the world, it's got to move eventually. And what we figured happened was whatever happened up there, the animal came down, and there's probably only one animal that could get that close to me and then me not be able to hear it walking away. So we figured it was a mountain lion right on the other side of that bush from me.
It was a Sasquatch.
It could have been that too. Yeah.
I think it was a big mouse.
Yeah,
it was probably
talking. I was talking about the story of you metal detecting and hearing that thing in the bushes across the creek, Tim.
Oh, that one.
Elk hunting.
Well, I don't know. We've got so many bear stories and stuff.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a short one. This one's pretty short too. We were metal detecting up on this road up toward the Big Hole in Montana. If you don't know where Anaconda is, it's on the west side of Montana, just north of Butte. And
and there's tons of grizzly bears, mountain lions, black bears, wolves, everything right there. So.
Right. There's no shortage of stuff, moose, everything. And so we're up there, we're detecting, and KG and I, over the years, because of the bear attacks and stuff, we tend to detect like this with our headphones, one on and one off, so we can kind of hear each other and hear anything that might be coming after us. And I'm down by this creek bed, and there were some old cabins and stuff. And I don't know, KG was up somewhere else. And I kept hearing this noise, but I knew it wasn't KG because he was way up behind me. And I kept hearing all this, rustling around down there by the water. And I didn't think much of it. And I just kind of eventually left. And eventually we were done, and we packed all our stuff in KG's pickup truck and drove up onto the gravel road and across this bridge. And right when we went across the water, there's this giant bear standing in the middle of the road. And I realized that I'd been standing right next to the thing that whole time when I was metal detecting, and probably could have been eaten right then. So there's one more bear story. And of course, KG starts driving right at it as fast as he can, and I'm trying to roll the window up, and
Mark, what did you find for us?
All right. Well, I guess it got packed away because we've been putting out Thanksgiving displays, but I'm going to show it to you in the book. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's an Ed Panad bottle that was found in Idaho. And I have to give a shout out to Rob Johnson, because Rob and I had never met, and he invited me out as part of a group that he was putting together. And in this area that we were hunting in, a fire went through in 1935 and burned everything to the ground, and all of the glass was either melted or broken. So it would be extremely difficult to find a bottle unless it was under dirt or protected in some way. And what was nice about this bottle was that little silver top at the very top of the bottle, if you guys can see that, was still on it. So I was able to metal detect that with my AT Max. And I reached down and pulled it up, and the bottle was whole with no cracks. And we did the research from Ed Panad. It says Ed Panad of Paris. Well, he was a perfumer back in the 1830s, and by the 1900s he was world famous. My wife did the research and found a poster with this bottle, with a barber holding the bottle over a gentleman's head. He was getting a haircut. This is a bottle for hair tonic. And so if you go into Walmart today, or you go to walmart.com, you can find Ed Panad hair products that are still available today. So this bottle is from the 1900s.
Wow.
That's on page, by the way, that's on page 90 of that book that we're giving away tonight. So you'll see that in that book.
I tore that page out.
I think I tore it out before I sent it to you.
Could you each share with us your most memorable find?
That was mine.
Okay.
Cheater.
Cheating, but okay.
But go ahead, you guys.
You go, Cage. Your turn.
All right. One of the coolest things I found was here in Montana. It was an old rock foundation. I don't even know what was there. It was obviously, mid 1800s, because it don't get much older than that in Montana. But I was metal detecting along in this field right next to this rock foundation, and I dug up a little tiny capsule. It was like a little brass capsule, and if you shook it, you could hear something inside of it. So I took it and got it home, and I pried it open with a little knife, and I slid the top off, and there was a solid silver St. Christopher statue inside the little capsule. So that was really one of my favorite finds, and it was early on too, when we just started.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. I'm surprised you said that, because whenever you get asked that, you usually come up with some other answer. That's pretty cool.
I have an answer. Just whatever pops in my mind.
Yeah. So anyway, we have countless things that we find memorable for whatever reason and stuff. But the thing I guess I'm most known for is that golden ring I found that was dated 1744. It was a mourning ring And I found it in England, and there's a famous painting of this dude fighting Napoleon. He was a British guy. That's the ring. And anyway, it was his grandmother's mourning ring, meaning after she died, her date of death was inscribed on it, and the date 1744. And then one of her, I think she had 4 daughters, probably wore that and lost it at some time. And KG and I and a bunch of guys were detecting this field that was about to be developed, and a housing project was going in there. And amazingly, I got this super deep hit, and it was kind of irony. I was in all metal mode with my AT Max, and I just thought there was just something about the sound that made me not ignore it. And I just kept digging, and it kept getting stronger and stronger. And there's this ring, and it turned out to be probably the find of my life. Pretty awesome thing. And it's in a museum that's dedicated to that family over there. So
Very cool.
kind of
Is that
cool
why they
find.
call you Ringmaster?
Well, weirdly enough, I had that name way before TV. KG and I used to just try to make each other laugh. We had no intention of that any of our, stupid phrases and things would ever become, metal detecting vernacular. But we, we'd go out, just me, KG, his brother, and TO. We'd go out and find a yard to detect. And for whatever reason, I just happened to be the dude that walked across the ring, and everybody started getting frustrated. And KG just one day goes, "God, you're the Ringmaster," and it just kind of stuck, So, and he got his nickname the same way,
Yeah, I when we first started, it seemed like about once a month I was finding a silver dollar. We went to this old ghost town. There's a huge tree, and earlier I saw Tim go around the right-hand side of this tree, and I'm like, that's weird. Normally he goes all the way around the big trees. Everybody does, but he only went around one side. So I went over in a straight line to that tree, and I went around the left-hand side. Bam, I got a signal, and I dug down, and I found a giant Morgan silver dollar. So he's all mad, threw a fit, went and sat in the truck for a little while. And then about 2 weeks later, we went to this little tiny town called Opportunity. And here we go again. There's another giant tree there. Well, I V-lined it for the tree, and Tim just kind of stayed on this old walking path. And I walked around the back of the tree, and bam, I got a smash and signal. And I dug up a giant another Morgan silver dollar. And I'm screaming and yelling, and Tim comes running over there, and I'm showing him this giant silver dollar, and he's just about in tears. And I swung my metal detector over the hole, and it went ping, 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 and there was another Morgan silver dollar in the same hole. So he wanted to throw up at that time. So we metal detected the rest of the yard, and none of us really found much. Couple wheat pennies. But all the way back to town, it was about an hour ride back to town. I just clanged them 2 silver dollars together. And he would get, I wish you would stop doing that. And I just keep clanging them together. But that's what he goes, "You're the king of silver." He goes, we're going to call you King George, because you're the king of silver. So that's how I kind of got the name KG. It wasn't a TV show, just kind of something in between both of us. And it just carried on. Now everybody calls me KG, and they don't even, I got like nicknames for my nicknames, I guess.
Yeah, we all do. We got Ringy and Cage, and like it just evolves over time, and eventually nobody even knows what it means anymore.
Yep. I don't know if you guys know this about Marc Hoover, but he was in Disney in the early days, and he was a tightrope walker, weren't you, Mark? And he has a Guinness Book World Record of, what were you doing, playing chess underwater or something?
No, it was underwater Monopoly.
Oh, Monopoly. Oh, that's even.
You should think about going for the underwater chess, record too. And then you could hold two belts at once.
Right. My record's been broken many times over, so.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of records, I'm going to tell you that I set a record that is, I actually didn't set it. I tied a record, a Major League Baseball record this weekend by catching all 3 fly balls in one inning. I put everybody out by myself in one inning. So that means you can't do any better than that, but thousands and millions of people have done it. So I'm just tied for the lead.
One more question, guys.
Hey, I'm James. Nice to meet you guys.
Hey, James.
Hey, my question, Mike? Oh, camera, okay. Sorry, I get used to that. My question is, have you guys ever came across human remains, especially I imagine in Europe potentially?
Human remains. Have you guys ever found any?
We're not supposed to say.
Yeah. We're under contract and we're not allowed to talk about that.
I think that was a chicken.
No,
That was a chicken bone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a chicken bone. Not that I can say. Not really. I mean, there's some iffy things we've found, but we really just kind of left it alone. Like we did this place out in Wyoming once, and where these Indians used to hang out by these rocks, and we were digging up a lot of European flat buttons that the Indians used to trade with the Europeans and stuff like that. And there was some pretty weird random bones around some different rocks and stuff up there, but we really didn't know if they were human remains or not. But we just messed around a little bit and got the heck out of there.
Yeah. But
I wasn't too worried about it. If they were fresh, I would have ran, but they weren't that fresh.
I can tell you this, though, speaking of digging up remains, KG's brother one time went up and they asked him to go recover this time capsule, and he thought he had found it. And so he gets a hit and he digs it up and he thought, oh, I hit the mother lode, and he opens up this coffee can and it's a dead cat, a skeleton. Oh, so I could just see your brother doing that. Yeah.
Fellas, thank you so much, but come time, we need to give away some prizes. There's 3 of these to give away. Who am I giving them to?
How about the people that ask the questions?
Yeah.
You each pick one person, and I'll make sure they get it.
All right,
Lex
the lady that
Luthor.
asked the question.
Lex Luthor.
You guys applaud.
I want to give mine to the little boy that came up first.
Hello. Hey, Lori.
All right, I get to give mine away now, right?
Yeah.
I want to give mine away to the guy with a red shirt and the beautiful, nice white beard there.
All right, John, you're gonna give away.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate the presents, the freebies. That stuff was awesome. Your shows are amazing. We want you here in Idaho.
That'd be great.
We'll work with Steve on that, and when we're all done here, you guys can send me all the money. It was my birthday last week, so just send me.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Hey guys.
Yeah, thank
Thanks.
you all.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night.
All right, guys. Now we got a little club business.